Hello everyone. In today's video session, we'll be looking into the design and implement of asynchronous counter using decade counter IC to count up from 0 to n, where the value of n is less than 9, and the same has to be demonstrated on a 7-segment display using IC 7447. The design of a counter has already been done in the previous video session, but the change what we can observe here is in the previous session, what we had done was we had taken up a synchronous counter. So when I speak about a synchronous counter, my synchronous counter is a counter in which the clock pulses will be given to all the flip-flops together. Whereas in case of this asynchronous counter, the clock pulse will be given to one of the flip-flops and the output of that flip-flop will be serving as a clock pulse to the next flip-flop. So here, basically when I speak about a counter, you need to understand that almost all my counters are made up using the flip-flops only. Very basically, I'll be using my JK flip-flops itself. The reason why I'll be choosing JK flip-flop here in order to build up the counter is because of the case when J and K are equal to 1 and 1, the output will not go to undefined condition. It will always be toggling. So what we need to do here is we need to be designing a decade counter. Decade counter is a counter which will be counting or which will be giving me a count of 10. And the same count, what a decade counter is going to give me, the same has to be displayed on the 7-segment display. So this is the aim of the experiment. When I speak about the theory about a counter, so basically I need to speak about an asynchronous counter. So when I speak about the asynchronous counter, so if I say these are my flip-flops, let me say this is my flip-flop 1, this is my second flip-flop, this is my third flip-flop, and this is the fourth flip-flop because I need to be counting 10 counts, right? So when I speak about 10 counts, as I explained you in the previous class, the number of flip-flops depends on the number of counts what you are expecting. So as I need to go with 10 number of counts, I need to be going with 4 flip-flops. So when I speak about asynchronous counter, your clock input will be given to the first flip-flop and the output of the first flip-flop will be acting as a clock input to the third flip-flop and the output of the second flip-flop will be acting as the clock input to the third flip-flop and the output of the third flip-flop will be acting as a clock input to the fourth flip-flop. This is what is your asynchronous counter. In fact, I can say that there will be propagation delays associated with that. I mean to say that there will be some time gap in between the counts what it is going to show. Now, if I say that this flip-flop is going to give me the counts, for example, let's say that this is going to give me the count of 000. The initial count what my flip-flop or what my counter is going to give is 000 when the first clock input is applied. This input has to be given to a decoder. This has to be given to the decoder and from the decoder it has to be given to the 7-segment display. The 7-segment display has to be displaying the number 0 like this. It has to be displaying the number 0 like this. When I apply the second clock pulse here, my counter will be giving me a count of 0001. This 0001 which is produced by the flip-flop should be given to the decoder and the decoder should be producing me the count or decoder should be or the output of the decoder should be given to the 7-segment display and the 7-segment display should be displaying the number 1. When I apply the next clock pulse, my flip-flop or my counter will be giving me an output of 0010 which should be given to the decoder and from the decoder it should be given to the 7-segment display and my 7-segment display will be displaying the number 2 like this and this goes on up till 9. After 9 that is first count will be 0, next it will be 1, next it will be 2, next 3, after that it will be 4, after that it will be 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. After 9 it has to come back to 0. And this process will keep on repeating until you keep on applying the clock pulses. So this is what basically my experiment is all about. This is what it has to be done. So basically your counter will be giving you the binary output. The binary output should be decoded to the decimal output. So what I do here is I'll be using two ICs. One of the IC will be the counter IC. One IC will be your counter IC. So we get ready-made counter ICs here, not like the previous experiment. In the previous experiment, we had built up the counter using the flip-flops, right? But in case of this, a ready-made counter IC is available by the number 7490, and we need to be using a decoder IC with the number 7447. So I need to be using two ICs here. So this is your counter IC, which will be giving you the count based on the clock inputs what you are applying to the IC, and the counts what is given by the counter will be given to the decoder IC, and your decoder IC will be giving the output which will be given to the 7 segment display, and the 7 segment display will be displaying the counts directly in the decimal format. That is what is the theory that has been explained here. See here, 7490 is an asynchronous decade counter IC. In addition to that, I need to be having a one more uh, decoder which will be converting your binary to decimal. So that is what it has to be done. So for every clock input what you are going to apply here, your counter will be displaying the count. So what we need to do is you need to design the circuit starting from mod 9. You need to be designing a counter which will be giving you 9 counts, 7 counts, 6 counts, 5, 4 and 3 counts. So you need to be designing lot of counters here. So lot of circuits has to be rigged up with minute changes. Moving on to the truth table. This truth table is the thing what will be explaining you regarding the counters what you are going to design. So let's say this is your clock input. So you can indicate it by clock input 1, or you can indicate it by a clock pulse also. So when no clock input is applied to the counter IC, or when no clock input is applied to the flip-flops which make up the counter, your output should be 0. Your output will be 0. This QD, QC, QB and QA, this will be the output. So this is what is the output. So this will be displaying 0. As soon as you apply the next clock pulse, as soon as you apply the first clock pulse, your counter should advance by one count, displaying the output to be 0001. This 0001 should be given to the decoder, and the decoder will be converting that binary 0001 into its equivalent decimal, which is 1. As soon as you apply the second clock pulse, your count will get advanced by one more count, and the counter IC will be showing the count of 0010, which will be in turn given to the 7447, which is a decoder IC, and the decoder IC will be converting your binary into decimal. Very similarly, you keep on applying the clock pulses. As you keep on applying the clock pulses, your counter will be displaying the count of 9. After it displays the count of 9, it will be showing 1001, which will be converted into its respective decimal. And if you apply the next clock pulse for the mod 10 counter, it will go back to 0. So you can see that it has started from 0 and it has come to 9 and it has gone back to 0. So basically this is your asynchronous up counter. So it is clearly given here, truth table for the mod 10 asynchronous counter. Similarly, you can write the truth table for mod 7 counter also. Mod 7 counter means it has to be counting 7 counts. Starting from 0, it has to go up till 6 and it has to repeat. So you can see the truth table for all the things. So you can see mod 10 counter, mod 7 counter, mod 6, mod 5, mod 4, mod 3. So everywhere you can see the clock pulses given, and you can see your counters giving you the output. So when I speak about mod 6 counter, you can see the changes here. Mod 10 counter will be having how many flip-flops? You can see it will be having 4 flip-flops. When I come to mod 7 counter, it will be having only 3 outputs with respect to the flip-flop. When I speak about the mod 6 counter, my mod 6 counter will also be having 3 outputs of the flip-flop. Mod 5 will also be having 3 flip-flops. When I go to mod 4 counter, your mod 4 counter will be having 2 flip-flops connected. As I told you, depending on the counts. For example, if the count what you require is 4, then you need to be going for 2 to the power 2. This 2 to the power 2, this will be the number of flip-flops. For example, if you say, sir, I want 10 counts, then it will be 2 to the power 4. So it will be 2 to the power 4, which means you need to be going with 4 flip-flops. I know that 2 to the power 4 is 16, but out of the 16, I'll be considering only 10 counts and the remaining 6 counts will be ignored off. So that is what decides the number of flip-flops for the counter. Very similarly, you can see the truth table for the mod 3 asynchronous up counter. Mod 3 means it should be giving me a count of 3. That is 0, 1, 2. 3 counts are done. Again 0, again 1, again 2, and this will repeat. This process is going to repeat again. This is what is the truth table of your asynchronous counter. Coming to the pin diagrams, as I have been telling in all the video sessions, you need not by heart the pin diagrams of any of the ICs. This is your 7490 IC, comparatively a new person to us. So 7490 IC, and you can call this as counter IC. You can call this as a counter IC also. So in the counter IC, you can see clock input A, clock input B, and you can see some reset pins, some no connections, outputs QA, QB, QC, and QC, 4 outputs, ground connections, no connection, VCC, R9, R9 and R2. These are all the inputs corresponding to that, which we will check when we actually rig up the circuit. So when you speak about the pin diagram of each and every IC is different from the other one. 7447 IC, this you can call it as decoder IC. This is your decoder IC because this particular flip-flops. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to give the clock input to this particular IC. So based on the clock input what I have given to this particular IC and based on the way in which it has been designed, your 7490 will be giving you the counts in terms of the binary numbers. So when it gives the counts in terms of the binary numbers, the counts which are in terms of binary numbers will be given to the decoder IC. This decoder IC will be converting into its respective binary number, decimal number, and the decimal output will be given to the 7-segment display, and the 7-segment will be displaying the number as such. For example, if you connect the output of your 7490 to the outputs of the digital trainer kit, it will show something like this: 0000, 0001, 0010, 0011, 0100. So it will go up till 1001. I am speaking about your mod 10 counter. I am speaking about your mod 10 counter. If the input in turn is fed to the decoder IC, this decoder IC will be producing the binary numbers. This binary numbers will be 0, 1, 2, 3 up till 9. But these numbers cannot be displayed by the decoder. So if I need to see the output of the decoder IC, the output of the decoder IC should be given to the 7-segment display, and the 7-segment will be displaying these numbers in the LED which is been given in the 7-segment. So this is your decoder IC. Decoder IC will also have the inputs B, C. You can see the inputs A and D. So basically your A, that is A, B, C, D, which are the outputs of the flip-flop, has to be connected to the respective pins of the decoder. Other than that, it will be having the ground connection, it will be having the VCC connection, and the output pins of this are pin number 13, pin number 12, pin number 11, pin number 10, pin number 9, and pin number 14, and pin number 15. If you remember, I had explained in the 7-segment display, my 7-segment will be having LEDs which are connected like this. So this is your LED A, this is your LED B, this is your LED C, this is D, this is E, this is F, and this is G. So decoder, I said it has to be connected to the 7-segment display, right? So 7-segment display will be having the pins corresponding to all the ICs. So this will be for A, this will be for B, C, D, E, F, and G. So the outputs of the 7-segment, decoder IC should be connected to the pins of the 7-segment display, and the output which will be connected has been noted on very clearly here. In the pin diagram, it has been very clearly specified. So pin number 13 has to be connected to LED A of the 7-segment display. pin number 12, which is output B, should be connected to LED B of the 7-segment display, and so on. So this is your counter IC which will be giving you the counts. This is your decoder IC which will be converting your binary to decimal, and you have one more IC which is called a 7-segment display IC which will be displaying the numbers in the respective decimal format. So speaking about the connections, so we are not actually going to design anything here. We are just going with the connections. So what I have taken here is I have taken the connection of the mod 10 asynchronous up counter with 7-segment display. See, I have told you very clearly. Initially, I need to have a counter. Then it is your decoder. And finally, it will be the 7-segment display. Connections are done as such. You can see the clock input being provided here. You can see the clock input being provided to pin number 14. So this is the clock input which will actually make your counter count the sequences. Other than that, the connections are done as per the design here. So this design part we are not going here. So you need to remember the connections for the mod 10 counter. The output of 7490, which is your counter IC, which is QA, QB, QC and QD, this will be producing you the binary output. So binary output is given to the 7447, which is a decoder IC. So it is given to A, B, C and D. It is given to A, B, C and D. Ground and VCC connections are done as per the pin diagrams. So whatever count this is producing as per the clock input will be given by the decoder to be decoded to the decimal number. The decimal number which has been decoded by this decoder will be given to the 7-segment display. For example, let me say that I have given the first clock input. This will produce me an output of 0, 0, 0 and 0. And the decoder will produce an output of 0 because it has to convert it into its respective decimal number, right? After that, this 0 in turn has to be shown in the 7-segment display. So what this decoder will do is, this decoder will send an output A high, B high, C high, D high, E high and F high, which means that LED A, LED B, LED C, LED D, LED E and LED F will be turned on, which will be seen like this. So this is nothing but your 0. For example, if you give the second clock pulse, your counter will produce an output of 0, 0, 0, 1. Your decoder will convert it into 1. This decoder output should be displayed in the 7-segment display, right? Then it will make your B high and it will make your C high, which will turn on this B and which will turn on this C, displaying 1 here. Suppose if you give the third clock input, so this will produce an output of 0, 0, 1, 0. This will produce an output of 2. So if it produces an output of 2, then A will go on high, output A will be made high, output B will be made high, output G will be made high, output E will be made high, and output D will be made high, displaying 2 like this. Suppose if you are giving the 10th clock pulse, so this will produce an output of 1, 0, 0, 1. This will produce an output of 9. So 9 has to be displayed, right? So for displaying 9, it will make A high, it will make F high, it will make B high, G also high and C high, displaying the number 9. After 9 is been displayed, if you give the 11th clock pulse, 11th clock pulse will once again produce an output of the counter equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, again 0 here and this 0 will be repeated. So you need to keep on giving the clock pulses so that your counter advances in the one direction. Very similarly, if I see with respect to your mod 7 counter, there are slight changes in the connections, circuit connections, but it is all of the same. You have the counter IC, you have the decoder IC and you have the 7-segment display IC, which will be displaying the count from 0 to 6. Changes in the connections has to be noted down, which will be shown to you when we are actually demonstrating you the experiment. Similarly, mod 6 counter. Every counter will have slight changes in the connections. Other than that, you are not going to replace any ICs. All the ICs will remain intact. You will be noting down some changes. You can see here there is an AND gate connected in the mod 7 counter. When I speak about mod 6 counter, AND gate has been removed and there are slight changes in the connections. Speaking about your mod 5 counter, again there are some changes in the connections. This connections has to be remembered by you people because we are not going to design any of the counters in this particular part because we have a lot of counters to be rigged up and outputs to be seen. So this is your mod 5 counter. You can see mod 4 counter in which nothing has been changed except some of the connections. Also you can see mod 3 counter. So basically what you are doing is you are displaying mod 9 counter, 7, sorry, it is mod 10, 7, 6, 5, 4 and 3. So this many counters we need to check up. When it comes to the examinations, what they might do is, they might ask you any 3. They might ask you to rig up a counter which will be displaying count 10. They might ask you to design or rig up a counter which is of mod 6, and they might ask you to rig up a counter which is of mod 4. So any 3 counters might be asked, or in case they might ask you to rig up 4 counters also. Most of the times they will ask you to rig up only 2 or 3 counters at the maximum. They will not ask you anything more than that. So this is regarding the theory part of your mod 10 counter, in which you are going to design lot of smaller order counters.
So moving on to the demonstration part, the circuit diagram what you can see right now, this is a circuit diagram of your mod 10 counter. So what we'll be doing here is we need to be designing mod 10, mod 9, mod 10, mod 7, mod 6, mod 5, mod 4, mod and mod 3. We'll be demonstrating you only 2 or 3 counters, and the remaining part has to be, or it will be done in the similar fashion in which it is shown in the circuit diagram. So you can see the connections here. You can see the clock input given to pin number 14. So clock input is given to pin number 14 of your counter IC, which is 7490. You can see the VCC connection. You can see the ground connections. Pin number 6 and 7 are actually grounded here. So output of this particular 7490 is given to your 7447, which is a decoder IC. So output of this in turn will be given to the 7-segment display. Connections, you people need to remember, there is no other go in saying that, sir, I cannot remember the connections. In fact, the design part has been skipped up here. We are not going to design anything because the design part has already been learned in the previous synchronous up counter. So going on to the implementation part, so you can see here there are a lot of wires which is jumbled up. This is your counter IC which is 7490, and this is your decoder IC which is 7447, and the output of the 7447 is given to your 7-segment display. So this thing what you can see here is a 7-segment display with the pin numbers A, B, C, D, E, F, G and ground connection. So pin numbers are given here. So you would have seen in the circuit diagram the output of the decoder is given to pin number A, B, C, D, E, F, G of your 7-segment display. And the clock input, you can see this is the clock input. This is the clock input which is to be manually given. So this clock input is given to pin number 14 of your 7490. So as you keep on giving the clock pulses from this monopulse input, you can see the output of the counter advancing. So what we'll do right now is we'll turn it on. So yeah, right now let's say that, see, you can see it is displaying some count. Let me reset it to 0. So let's get back to 0. Yeah, as of now you are not giving, let's say that no clock pulses are given, or let's say that there is no clock input given from the monopulse input. So what I'll do right now is, let me give the first clock pulse. So how do you give the clock pulses? You will be pressing this once. So once you press this once, you can see it has become 1. If I give the next clock pulse, your counter will be displaying, it should be displaying 2. Now it has displayed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more clock pulse will get it back to 0. So if you want to give this clock pulse manually, you can give it from the mono pulse. Always you can remove this clock input from here and you can give it to the ready-made clock input which is available. So I have given it here, which reduces your manual task. So right now what I am doing is, I am not giving any clock input. I am not giving any clock input. So you can see the clock count getting advanced by itself. 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it will advance by itself. So what you can do is, instead of, if you don't want to give the clock pulses manually, you can connect it to frequency input, or this is your pulse input which will be automatically generated based on the frequencies. For example, if I give it to 1 Hertz, this is the speed at which it is going. Let me say that I will connect it to 10 Hertz. I'll connect it to 10 Hertz, or I'll connect it to 10 Hertz here. You can see the count advancing very fast. Can you see that? It's going very fast. So let's say that it has to be given to, let me keep it to 1 Hertz, and you can see the counts moving on very slowly here. So this is what is your mod 10 counter. Connections has to be done as per the circuit diagram which is provided in the manual. So we will go with the demonstration of mod 6 asynchronous counter. So you can see the counter IC, you can see your decoder IC, and in addition you can see an AND gate. This is what I said, every circuit diagram has got minute changes which has to be implemented if it has to count what you are expecting it to count. So you can see the VCC connection, the output of your counter IC being given to the decoder IC, and the output of the decoder IC being given to the input of the 7-segment display. The 7-segment display has not been shown here. So this counter should be starting the count from 0, and it has to advance to the count of 5, and again it has to come back. Getting back to the implementation. So this is where it has been implemented. So you can see your counter IC which is 7490, 7447, and your AND gate IC. And this is your 7-segment display. So this is where you are going to see the count, what your counter is going to count. And the clock input can either be given from this monopulse input, or it can also be given from the automatic clock pulses which are generated in the digital trainer kit. So let's turn on the circuit. Let's turn on the circuit. As soon as we turn on the circuit, you can see the counts going on there. 3, 4, 5, again 0. Yeah, it has to get back to 0. So some of the counts are getting skipped there. If the counts are getting skipped, what we'll do is, we will remove this connection from here and we will connect it to mono pulse itself, and we will try to give the pulses manually. So what I'll do is, I'll try to give the first pulse. So you can see it has become 2. It's 3. Next pulse 4, and next pulse should make it 5, and next pulse should make it 0. So this should repeat. This should keep on repeating. So this is how your mod 6 asynchronous counter is been demonstrated. But you need to be very careful when you are rigging up the connections, because there are a lot of wires which are running, and you also need to be giving the clock pulses very delicately. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see the counts going on. Or what you can do is, you can directly give it to the mono pulse in, or you can give it to the output here. So you can wait, see 2, 3, 4, 5 and 0. So the next circuit what we will be seeing for the demonstration purposes, mod 4 asynchronous counter. So the circuit diagram is seen here with the counter IC and with the decoder IC connected back to back, and with slight change of connections with respect to the mod 6 counter what we saw previously. In fact, we need to rig up mod 7 counter, mod 5 counter and all the counters, but for the demonstration purpose I am just taking on 3 counters and I am just going on with the demonstration. So this is your mod 6 counter with 7490 counter IC and 7477 which is a decoder IC, and you have an 7-segment display which is connected at the end or at the output of your 7447 IC. So coming on to the demonstration purpose, you can see the ICs are kept here. So this is your 7490, which is a counter IC to which the clock inputs are supplied, and this is a decoder IC which will be converting the binary output of the counter IC into the corresponding decimal output, and the decimal output which has been converted is being displayed in this 7-segment display, and the clock pulse is given from the monopulse input. So let's reset it to 0. Let's reset this particular thing to 0. So let's say that now there is no clock pulse input and the first count has been shown. So when I go with the first clock pulse, you can see it is displaying 1. I'll go with the next clock pulse. So when I go with the next clock pulse, you can see it is 2. I'll go with the next one, that is I'll go with clock pulse 3. I'll go with the clock pulse 3, and you can see it is showing count 3. So if I go with one more clock input, it will reset back to 0. So what you can do is you can remove it from here and you can connect it to the input here. So you can see the counts getting displayed from 0 to 3 continuously. So in fact, in this particular experiment, I need to be rigging up a lot of circuits, but for the video purpose, we have taken only 3 circuits to be rigged up. But as per it's given in the manual, you need to be rigging up all the circuits and you need to be showing the output. Maybe from the exams or when you are attending the exams, you might be asked to rig up any of the 3 or 2 circuits. Thank you.